Is this thing on? Check, check. A quick thing I wanted to mention right off the bat is if you looked at the title of this video, I am not talking about Googling your date. Definitely you should do that, especially because there are probably some people that may be a little weird or creepy, or you don't know what kind of person they are. So yes, always be good about Googling your date beforehand. You definitely should do a little investigation on your own, maybe a little social media stalking and background check to make sure you're comfortable with this person. I'm not talking about that today. What I want to talk about is Googling on a date, not Googling your date. A few weeks ago, I was out with somebody and we entered into a big conversation about history in Asia and the Middle East. I have no idea how we got to this topic, but it sort of stirred this thought that's been happening more on a frequent basis, usually when I'm out on a first or a second date with somebody new. And I'm sure that this happens pretty frequently for a lot of you folks out there. I want to address it. To get straight to the point, what I want to talk about today is Googling on a date, which means, quite obviously, you have your phone and you Google on a date. This definitely arises when we start to enter topics that are more trivial, that do require some fact-checking. Just the notion of being on the phone itself always is a distraction because, as most people know me, I am somebody who, when I have a conversation with someone on a date, I just want to keep talking. I just want to be as engaged as possible. I am all ears when somebody is talking, and I want to keep that moment between us good, especially if it's on a first or a second date and you don't really know them that well. All you want to do is soak in all the things about them, their looks, their temperament, their tone, what they're saying. And when you start diving into other things like politics and history, then it's like, well, you know what? I don't think that that's accurate. I'm gonna Google it and find out. I know we all do it, but I have found that that is just, I think it's a pet peeve, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that it's a pet peeve of mine. Most of the time because I feel like, why can't we just say, okay, cool, and dismiss it? Why? I mean, now that we have information readily accessible at our fingertips, it's that much easy to validate and fact-check someone right on the spot. And especially in the beginning when people are still getting to know each other, like, why can't we just lay off of the Googling? All I know is that it creates a distraction, and be fact-checked and validated at every corner is something that I kind of don't really like. I also just don't like it when that happens in the middle of a conversation because it just throws the whole vibe of it off. The whole point is you to sit there and get to know the person and talk with them, but then when you start Googling, then it kind of derails what kind of moment you were having. And I'm usually pretty engaged. It's not really a big deal for some people, but for me, it kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm just going to set the record straight. And, you know, it's like, hey, let's talk about your family background. Well, you know, my family came from China in the early 1900s, you know, before the Chinese Immigration or Exclusion Act was put into place. And then I would say, like, it happened in the 1920s or whatever. And then it's like the next thing that would happen would be, oh, really? Okay, let me... And then somebody would Google and fact check me on that. But the whole point, the whole context of this date in the beginning is to get to know you. And when people Google on a date, it kind of derails it. It's kind of like when people are Snapchatting and Instagramming and Facebook. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I feel like as, I don't know, cell phone free as possible, unless it's like your mother and you need to take the call. I would prefer to keep the phones away. And I think it mostly has to do with talking about topics that are trivial, informative, things that are easily checked online in the internet. So just a really quick video. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about Googling on a date, or just in general fact-checking at every corner? Is it something that helps you establish rapport with somebody? Is it something that you just do intuitively out of habit? Are you somebody that always is trying to get the right information out and be a walking encyclopedia? Leave a comment below and a like, and let me know what you guys think. It's something that kind of it just happens, and then I get a little bit bothered by it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, as I'll be posting videos more regularly. My name is Zach. Thank you for watching today, and take care.